Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
What's going on, y'all? Happy Friday,
It is Friday.
September the 19th, 2025.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning. Hit him with the finger.
Yes. Welcome. Good Friday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Pops is first in the chat. Good morning to you, Pops. Appreciate you.
Hey.
Man, it's going down on a Friday. For real.
Man.
Marlon Harrison gives us a good morning, First Sky family. And happy TGIF to everyone. Thank you. Kimra Snipes says, good morning. How you doing, Kimra? Good morning to you. Also, Mama God gives us a good morning, First Sky fam.
The fam.
Man. Pops says, love that most funky track. Thanks, Pops. Appreciate you. Judy Printer says, happy Friday. Enjoy the day. Yeah, gonna try to enjoy the day.
Yeah.
Good suggestion.
Yeah, cherish the day.
RG said, what's good, y'all? You know what time it is. Time for the Yippee Skippies. You ready?
Man, I think it's my turn.
Yep.
Yeah, this time.
Hey,
Happy Friday, yo, yip, yo, yip, yo, yay, yip, yo, yay, yo.
Okay, all right.
How'd I do? Let me know.
You got it down. You need to work on the flow. No,
Yeah, a little bit. You know.
I need more oomph next time. More oomph.
Okay. Yeah, it didn't quite roll out. We artists.
Sometimes it rolls out pretty good though.
It was a little choppy.
There's your Friday Yippee Skippies, and happy Friday to all. Thanks for joining us again on First Sky Omaha in the morning.
Yeah. In the morning. My bad.
As you can see, already lots on our minds this morning.
Yeah. I'll be honest, man. I went from Yippee Skippy to Whoop De Doo. That's where my mind went. Yippee Skippy, Whoop De Doo, all of that.
That kind of morning, y'all.
Yeah.
Welcome to another kind of wet and rainy day today too. It's a little cool out today. It's definitely
Man.
fall weather. If you're in Omaha, Nebraska, you will be experiencing some rain a little later on tonight. It's supposed to be kind of cool today, so
Brr.
yeah, get it in. Special guest coming in today as well, brother Deon Barnes coming through from Stable Gray. Definitely talk to him about media and the future of it all.
Man.
Those who don't know who Stable Gray is, man, they hold it down when it comes to media creation, and all the things that they do. We'll talk about it when he gets on about all the things these guys do. They're 10 years in the game too.
Man.
10 years in. So
Yeah, we worked with them on some stuff, and I'm still learning about all the things that they got going on, man. Been actually working with these brothers for some years, so yeah, big shout out to them. Looking forward to that conversation.
definitely, they are a company that we're inviting to what we have coming up here in October. Our Fun Fest, First Time Omaha Fun Fest. It's not just a fundraiser, but it's also a celebration. A celebration of yeah, man. Give me that Dave Chappelle on that.
Celebration.
It is a celebration, and we're celebrating guys like Brother Dion for Stable Gray, man, and all the people that are part of bringing this media communication together, which is kind of what we're going to be talking about today.
Man,
In light of free speech
under attack.
being under attack. I know you guys been seeing it. We'll definitely be talking about it today. Heather Williams gives us a good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. Ariel's 402 says, good morning. 9-hour drive home after work from Douglas, Wyoming.
Okay, well,
Glad you're on your way back, man.
yeah. Hopefully, we can help you do 2 hours of that 9.
Yeah. Drive safe.
Yeah.
We hook harmonized it. I jumped in on it. We have to put that together. Michelle Moreno gives us a good morning, everyone, as well.
Hey,
Appreciate you. Definitely do us a favor while we're still able to speak on these social media platforms. Share the show
man.
while we're still able to do the thing here. We definitely will be making some changes. As a matter of fact, in light of everything that's happened, so stay tuned to get word on that. I'm gonna let you in on it a little earlier after we jump into the conversation some about what we are going to do as First Sky Omaha in
Man,
order to yeah, circumvent some of the stuff that's going down.
yeah.
So we'll definitely talk about it. In the meantime, between time, how you feeling, buddy? How you doing this morning?
Man, I'm good, as always. Life is life, rolling through the things, living the dream, actually, if you will. But it's very interesting what's going on in society. I say that, man. We'll definitely be talking about it, but I don't know. Maybe sharing the show ain't the thing no more. We might have to email it to each other, get a little more clandestine. Man, yeah, it's
They coming after Jimmy Kimmel. They coming after everybody.
hey, like brother Kamal Bell said, man, like that be Kamal Bell. Hey, if they go after the rich white guys, what does that mean for the little guy?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we definitely gonna get into it for sure. Mama Guy said, "Will there be hors d'oeuvres at the Fun Fest?" Yes, yes.
Yes,
There will
yeah,
be some horrors, divorce,
finger
definitely.
food.
First Guy Omaha Fun Fest. The registration will be opening up here soon after we get all the invites out. We do have some awards that we're going to be giving away, so we want to make sure that we got the people there that are going to receive those. So more information on that coming soon, and we'll definitely get into it. Another thing that's happening right now too, we just dropped our second installment of the Lanes of Change Elements of Evolution. If you haven't seen it yet, go over to YouTube, check the video out. More of our conversation with Mary Ewing that we dropped on his 100th day in office.
Man,
So,
look at
yeah,
that.
he's been in there 100 days now, and we want to talk to him about what change looks like to him. If you want to see more about it, then definitely check it out. Lanes of Change, Elements of Evolution, Part 2 basically is happening over there on YouTube. So, definitely check that out as well.
Yeah, man.
And we really appreciate that. Lanes of Change in the house. Mama Guys, yes, Mama Guy said can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait too. I think this is we've been really there's a lot going on. As a matter of fact, we just found out more festivals that are happening in this same vein. It's a thing now. We're in that time frame where people are putting things together. We'll talk about it with Brother Dion more, but they also got a parlor awards coming up too. So if you guys don't know about what they do, they have a thing called Content Parlor, and I was just on it. If you guys saw my post where I was there speaking to them. These are the guys. This brother Dion is the guy that put this on. While we were sitting there doing my interview, we talked about them coming on the show. So today, brother Dion will and brother Teddy is not going to be with us today, but we'll bring them both back in a little while. We'll have them on regularly actually because they're really part of this whole thing that we're doing. There are information guys, and then there's the guys that are also the tech guys, the behind the scenes guys, the capture. These guys do a lot of that kind of work. As a matter of fact, we're working on some partnerships with them in order to enhance that more. But they've been in the game a long time on this live streaming and camera work. Me over here trying to do all this tech all the time. Tech be teching on me.
Man,
So sometimes I got to call them and be like, yo, how do we do this? So these guys are crucial in the news gang activity that we got going on because we can't just be out reporting. We got to record it. It's got to be recorded. So we'll talk about that more. There's that's happening. Flatfest just happened as well.
yeah,
Flatwater Free Press just had their festival where they had Mary Ewing speak there too. If you anybody went to that, I heard that brother Anthony Rogers right. I don't know if you're in the chat yet, but I would think he attended. But there's some very important things they talked about as well when it comes to the future of news and the future of communication. So
man.
it's on everybody's mind in a big way right now. We'll get into it. Before we do, I'm gonna drop a couple of the community updates that's happening right now. It is the weekend, so that means there's things going on. We would love for you to tell us about some things that we're missing that we're going to talk about too, or things you had planned on going to this weekend. It is kind of Love Supreme Friday, so we always highly encourage you to get out, have some good time, see some music, buy some records. Hit the record store and get busy. Like Prince says, well, if you want to buy a Sam Cooke album, where would you go? The record store. Get your
Record
get your,
store.
get your vinyl right. Get your vinyl right. So anyway, yeah, there's things happening this weekend. Please let us know what that is. Of course, I think Paul Philman is out doing his thing in front of the governor's mansion, and I think he'll be taking the weekend off and coming back on Monday because I think he's doing Monday through Friday out there. So if you haven't gotten in touch with brother Paul Philman, please do. If you missed any parts of his interview the other day, definitely go back to YouTube and check it out. It was very informative, lots of ways. Also, we got to put up another missing person
Man,
out here, a missing teen. We're urgently seeking help to locate Kamisha Douglas, missing since August 28th. Last seen in Omaha, 17 years old. If you have any information, please call 402 this has been floating around here for a few days. I've seen, so we got it up as soon as we saw it. You can, I think it's in Friends of First Sky Omaha as well, in order to get that phone number to make a call if you see anything. So yeah, keep your eye out for the babies, man. For real, Kamisha Douglas missing teen. Definitely keep your eyes out. Also, to continue on, there's another event that's coming up. A poet's take on the dinner party, which I think is real tough. This is real tough what they're doing here. Join us for a one night only live course dinner, 5 course dinner, with curated wine, pairings, crafted chef. This is gonna be Brother Ba, House of Ba is gonna be serving dinner for this
Hey,
dinner party, man. You're gonna listen, and of course, the state poet Jewel Rogers is
man,
one of the ones that's behind this. So they're gonna have some heavy hitters. Jewel Rogers is on board, and a few other heavy hitters out there. We'll definitely keep on posting this in Friends of First Sky Omaha for you to check it out. But this is actually coming up on September 27th, so I might want to look into this a little sooner than later, and there's an RSVP QR code on the flyer as well. So we'll put that in friends of. Definitely check that out. I thought that was something that was cool. As far as this weekend is concerned, I didn't really pull too many things happening this weekend. I didn't really see anything that made me want to be like, "Oh, I gotta go see that." So I want to leave it up to you guys. If you guys have any recreational things, anything that's important that's happening this weekend, let us know. We definitely need to talk about it. And one of the other things we will talk about coming up too, man, this parade, Terrace
man,
Bud Crawford's Victory Parade, is happening on September 27th as well. Get ready for that. There's the parade route is going to be 19th in Farnham to 10th in Harney. Ceremony at Heartland of America Park. So I heard there was a little controversy over
man, yeah,
over this, but it's going down anyway. As a matter of fact, the mayor, I think the mayor announced it when he talked about his 100 days. We'll be talking about that a little later on the show.
hmm,
But I'm glad to see that they're going to do something for Bud. Man, he deserves a victory parade for real.
oh yeah,
This is what I'm talking about. He had a send off. A bunch of Omahans went out to Vegas to support. He won. A bunch of Omahans came out to the Deuce to celebrate. And now the whole city gonna celebrate. Terrace Bud Crawford Victory Parade happening on September 27th.
man, and
Looking forward
I'm
to that.
kind of expecting some of his celebrity friends to pop out too, man. Like it's Omaha's becoming a destination in a way, you know what I mean? So big shout out to Bud for shining a light on the city, man. It's and you know he's wholeheartedly like intentionally sharing his wins with the city too. It's not just like I did this, you know, this is me. Like, hey, this is for us. So
Yeah,
so big shout out to Bud for sharing the love, man.
true champ, true champ.
Yeah, yeah, the people's champ.
Man, I'm seeing Brother Sherman Wells in the chats and Grand Rising brothers. Good morning to
Peace.
you, my man. Appreciate you coming through. Always loving what you're doing. As a matter of fact, we need to we need to talk off screen about a couple things that are coming up. Want to get with you on. So definitely.
Word.
Anthony Rogers Wright in the chat said Flatfest was man. He said there was more black people at the Country Music Awards than at FFP Fest. Legit, less than 10 black folk, including the mayor, were in attendance. Yep, I didn't make it. It would have been 11. That's the issue, man. That's the problem. That's what we're doing. But I will say that Flatwater Free Press has been great in partnering with us on a few things, understanding that black media got to be black media, and
Yeah, yeah,
doing what they can do. So we'll definitely be talking about it. I'm kind of glad that there's there's a way that they stay in a certain lane, and that could be a good thing. Could be a good thing.
yeah, yeah.
Definitely allies though, so we will definitely keep on talking about that and partnering with them on stuff. Marlon Harrison in the chat says it's funny how people kept saying in 2016 and 2024 we don't need a woman in office because they're too emotional, but yet DT complains and cries when people criticize him. We're definitely going to be talking about that. That's kind of part of the thread of the conversation here today. As a matter of fact, I'll let Buddy jump in and talk about that a little bit. First of all, I just want to give a shout out to Biko Kwanzaa in the chat. Good morning. Says
Top.
good morning, young man. I'm glad that you're back on Friday. It's a good day. Stable Gray is a nice face. See any windows? Okay. Think about that statement right there. Carol Warner in the chat giving us a good morning with some sunshine. Good morning to you. Also, Mama Guy says, check out Habitat for Humanity Fall Neighborhood Cleanup. Drop off in my hood this Saturday morning. May be in your hood too. That's what's
Okay.
up. That's
Yeah,
what's up.
yeah. Thanks for that
Yeah.
update.
He said, I'll clean the windows down there. Okay, got it. Right on. Appreciate that. So, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the thread for today because it is a very interesting one. People and friends of have been posting a lot of stuff too, and it's been the conversation. What's been going on in media these days?
Man, man. And before that, I do want to acknowledge and appreciate what you said about the Flatwater Free Press and just the lane that they're running. Like again, we have conversations with them and they support us in being that voice for our community. You know what I mean? And they definitely know that they have their lane and we have our lane, and that's the point. Lanes have changed. That's the mentality that we're in. So definitely, man, shout out to them. But it's going to have to be a conversation for everybody in this lane as far as media and communication and just free speech, man. And even Friday, we try to make Friday also about the Love Supreme, which is all wholeheartedly about artistic expression. And again, we've recognized, I think, brother Tony Johnson in previous episodes talked about the intersectionality of the lanes and crossing of the lanes, and for us, this strategic communication activism is journalism, and um Love Supreme, artistic resistance are wholeheartedly lanes that cross. And this whole Jimmy Kimmel situation is par for the course, man. Not only is Jimmy Kimmel, of course, a late night talk show host and kind of a news pundit a little bit, but he's a comedian. Let's keep that in mind as well. He is a comedian, which there's a lot to be said about what it means to be on that stage alone. Actually, I had a conversation with a stand-up comedian last night, and just reminded me of just how gangster it is, and how much of an expression and rebellious act it is really to be a comedian, and really to be a comedian to say what it is that you have to say on anything socially. So what does that mean? What does that look like for the future? I know we've seen the pressure on platforms like Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel, but again, what does that mean for us? What does that mean for comedians, musicians? What does the state of free speech look like? What does the future of free speech look like in this country with some of the things that have been going on? So we'll definitely be talking about that. Also in the news, PBS, NPR struggling as AP reports with the government funding cuts. We've been talking about that, but now again, some of the small guys are on the low end feeling the impact of these cuts earlier this year. So again, we'll wrap that into the conversation as well, and not just communicators, not just people with the microphone, not just people making music, but also the everyday people trying to work. Apparently, a nonprofit in North Platte is feeling the hurt as well after they made a post about Charlie Kirk. So again, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. What is going on with the future of freedom of speech? And also the economics of it. One side, and I'm glad you pulled this article and point, Paul. On one side of the Jimmy Kimmel situation is not just his comments and the response to his comments and the pressure from the FCC, but also some of the business deals and the economics behind it. Very interesting. Again, $6.2 billion deal hanging in the balance and over the head of this Jimmy Kimmel situation. And again, economics being impacted all the way around, all surrounding this Charlie Kirk situation. So very, very interesting how this is all playing out. It's not just in that area as well, but what's going on with the voter information? Apparently, there's some pressure from the Department of Justice, not just to quiet, pundits who are speaking out against the Charlie Kirk situation, but also to apply pressure on this voting situation. Again, we have an election coming up next year. Why are they asking for voters registration information? So we'll be getting into all that and more throughout the show. Of course, we got to talk about the celebration 100 days of Mayor Ewing and our champ Bud Crawford. So again, there's a lot of things. Actually, Mayor Ewing announcing some town halls coming down the pipe, so we'll be talking about that and more throughout the next few hours. But in the meantime, between time, Paul B,
Yo, yo.
how you doing, man? How's it going?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. A little tired,
You
boss.
tired, boss? You
Use a
tired?
couple more winks, like you like to say. But
Yeah,
we're up. We're here. It's Friday. It's going down. Lots going down all the time. And just kind of find that I need to find that steady pace,
yeah,
and keep the anxiety down about the next thing. I used to do a lot of fortune telling and looking in the past all the time, and trying to be more present and leave all that stuff to the side and just steady pace it. And it seems to be working all right, pretty good. Also, not to mention with the help of some friends and people and colleagues, always reach out, man. Tell people what you need so they can help you. because there's a lot of people that want to, just don't know how, and a lot of times we don't know how to ask for it. So I'm
Man,
definitely working on that because I'm usually one man band in a lot of things. But I'm finding speaking up about it, reaching out to people who are down for the cause as well as help. And that's why I also want to thank everybody here, all the chat chimers, all the ghost listeners, and especially the members, the people who have signed up to be reoccurring members of the channel. $10 people, the $25 people, the $50 people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It helps this keep going. Of course, not just sweat equity and boosts to the roots we also need finances to do these things, especially when you're independent, and
man,
especially in the face of the things that we are in the face of right now in a big way. So we'll definitely talk about it. Von Chapman in the chat, good morning, says free speech ain't free anymore under the Trump administration. Damn shame.
man.
Uh,
Yeah,
Von Chapman's, RG says freedom of speech, just what you say. Old school iced tea.
man.
People in the chat did appreciate that. Judy Princess, let me know I'm still low on volume. Okay,
Okay.
thank you for that. Thank you for that. Appreciate that very much. I don't understand what's been going on with that lately.
Yeah, man. Try to dial it in before the show, but I guess.
Yeah, something's going on with the program. We'll see what happens when we switch the programs.
More to
Carol
come.
Carol Warner in the chat is in the chat as well, talking about brother Trey Reed. Yeah, we did talk about him the other day and everything that's going on. You're right. There's not enough. There's not enough mainstream coverage, and that whole no foul play thing. How you got your arms and your legs broke and you hang yourself? We'll never be able to understand. Yeah, we're definitely following the story as well and seeing what anybody's doing about it. But yeah, we definitely talked about it the other day. If you missed that episode, definitely go back and check it out on YouTube. And I really appreciate everybody who's done that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it very much. And we'll take a quick break and we'll come back and jump into the conversation again. Stay tuned because we have our special guest coming through. Brother Deon Barnes from Stable Gray is going to be in the house. We'll talk to him about the work that he's doing and how he's part of this whole situation here with this media and what we're doing with the media. So I'll take a quick break and we'll come right back and jump into it. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the Guy. Stay tuned. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy the God. Just
Hey,
want to remind you our second installation of the Lanes of Change video is out on YouTube right now. Definitely go to YouTube, check it out. And while you're there, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell so you can get notifications when we drop more videos. There's many more to come in this series. And we're putting this all together now. So definitely go check that out. And like I said, if you find it informational and something that you think is something you want us to continue, do us a favor and like the video and again subscribe so we can get our viewership up over there on YouTube. We have to kind of play the game with this algorithm. We have to play the game with all the social media outlets. As a matter of fact, it's kind of the theme of the show today is about free speech and where we can say it, what we can do with it.
man.
I was just thinking about William King on 95.7 The Boss. He was saying that the stuff people that are like us are doing on podcasts and on the social media is on it's like the masters quarters, like we're the slaves, we're the ones that are on these platforms that are owned by other people. They're owned by other people and you can't really say what you want to say on them. Right now we can, but I agree with William King on the fact that we got to remember these platforms are owned by these oligarchs and it can
Man.
change at any minute. X did, Twitter did. We was on Twitter hard back in the day, had to jump off because of the owner of because of Elon Musk changing up the nature of what happened over there and doing what they're doing. So these things can change at all times, but got to push back on William King a little bit too because he's under FCC law. with the
Man,
radio station. He's got a radio station that is not he owns the station, but he doesn't own the SEC license, and the head of the SEC right now, somebody Trump put in. So, you gotta watch what you say over there, you gotta watch what you say everywhere, which is the point. I'll go ahead and let Buddy jump in, and we can get into this conversation deep. And can't wait to hear from you guys too. We always are asking this question: where do you get your news? Where do you get your information? How do you disseminate information back and forth? How do you communicate? This is going to be an ongoing, constant conversation. And when I think that when the powers that be come in and start silencing people, next step is we got to go underground to keep this communication flowing. You guys got some ideas? Let's think about it as we talk about it. So, but in the meantime, in between time, I'll throw it over to Buddy. What's on your mind, man?
yeah, yeah. I was actually gonna start with Ewing, but
We can do that.
yeah, yeah. Just kind of get out the way, man, and let the people know. One, starting with this lanes of change. Again, strategic communication is all a part of the lanes of change, and yeah, we are gonna have to figure out how to activate all of these lanes. Again, big shout out to Mayor Ewing for taking the time to speaking with us. Again, celebrating his first 100 days, celebrating the Bud Crawford, everything we talked about with that. But again, he is announcing some press conferences and town halls. And one of the things I want to talk about and kind of set up for today's conversation is the two main things that Mayor Ewing, is calling for, which is kind of interesting timing. But the intentional economic development were the two things, and hope. Those are the two things that he kind of hammered home as far as those are the things that he views will definitely cause some change, some substantial change in the community and the city and really across the nation. He didn't, limit his view and his vision to Omaha. It really was something that he felt could impact the nation and really needed to impact the nation because, as you see, man, it's getting bleak. It's getting bleak, and hope is hard to find as far as what if you're paying attention to what's going on, especially with the social media, especially with freedom of speech and just all of it, and not just social media and freedom of speech, but economics. What is going on with the bottom dollar? We kind of go back and forth, not necessarily go back and forth, but are grateful and thankful of the route we chose to take as far as being for profit and kind of seizing our own destiny, if you will, because we saw the writing on the wall as far as the funding situation, and now here we are with a nonprofit out of Platt.
Mm,
Um, Getting his rug pulled from under him as far as grant funding
hmm
and part of itself. This is coming from Nebraska TV, which man, we'll see how long these types of platforms stick around. But again, a controversial post about Charlie Kirk's death has led to the discontinuation of grant assistance from one North Platte nonprofit. Los Manitas Community Advocates made a Facebook post in which stated, "By Charlie, you did nothing but divide people with your Neanderthal way of thinking." And on Thursday, Edward Dunn, who's executive director of West Central Nebraska Development District, sent a letter to Mananitas, community advocates, informing them that they would no longer be providing assistance to the organization in their efforts to obtain a community development block grant for the Northside Development Project from, again, Nebraska Department of Economic Development, which yeah, we have some feelings about that department. But again, such public statements celebrating violence and loss of life are unacceptable, according to Dunn. We cannot, in good conscience, provide professional services to an organization with such commentary. So again, it's making its way through everywhere
hmm
as far as the pressure.
Yeah, it is. It's not just the nonprofit organizations that are getting the pressure. The nonprofit dollars that are stopping. For profit dollars are stopping too. They really are having a hard time. I mean, I think about a lot about just the economic pressure in general. When Trump took away money from NPR, PBS, for public broadcasting, they immediately said we need to be supported by the people, but the people are having a hard time. People trying to buy groceries, and it's tough to make the decision to donate to something that we all kind of came up feeling like was free, which was the radio, which was getting information, the news. So changing attitudes on how news needs to be paid for is tough in a economic decline in the first place. And if these public funds that public funds come from taxpayer money, if we can't direct those to where we're trying to direct them and where we want to direct them, then it's a problem. So but it's been a problem. I can say that it's been a problem for a while. Like Anthony Rogers right in the chat is saying, y'all really think there was free speech before Trump became president? Students were getting their asses beat and doxxed on college campuses for calling out Israel under Biden Harris. I mean, there's been deaths all the way back 60s, 50s on college campuses protests. This is an ongoing thing for sure. Biko Kwanzaa in the chat says Public Enemy One said, and when they rap records, on one of their rap records, the freedom of speech is the freedom of death when it came to the black man.
Mm.
It's always been a problem. Yep, there it is. He said that again. Yep, yep. Also, Ariel's 42 says hit the like button. Appreciate that very much. Use more hashtags in your descriptions. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Appreciate that. He says Tony Johnson says many not killing many not liking William King free speech about Crawford parade. Yeah, we saw some of the back and forth that happened there, and yeah, don't got much to say about that. But yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, not even
Wanda
sure what's
Lewis gives
going
us
on.
Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning. Majid Miller Jenkins says New York City has a slew of elected officials arrested for joining protests, and this is tied in as well because those protests are getting televised. The revolution is getting televised, and I did hear a lot of them are finding out about what they're doing because of social media, and they're going after them. A lot of elected officials as well. It's all tied in. So, yeah, I appreciate that bringing that up as well. Mama God says, "Oh, why was she not fired instead of funds pooled?" Who we talking about?
In the story that I referred to, the lady who made the comment from
Oh,
the Facebook post.
why was she not fired instead of funds pooled? Huh. Well, I mean, because it's free. I mean, she can say what she wants. We're supposed to have a First Amendment. We're supposed to have free speech,
Right.
and this they're controlling. They're figuring out a way to control that free speech by stuff like funding. It's just what it is.
More of an
Uh,
argument.
Good morning, Joyce McKinney Grisby. Appreciate you coming through. Maggie Miller Jenkins says, "Can we hit on the Omaha sheriff shaming the public on not housing people while not single officer offered their homes?" We've been talking about that. Yeah, we've been going back and forth about Sheriff Hanson's uh, announcement that we ought to be bringing homeless folks into our own homes, even though he said he wouldn't do it. Yeah, hot mess. Brother, what Sherman Wells says she was fired. Okay, okay, so she was fired. That's news. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I didn't see that in this report that she was fired.
Yeah. Interesting times. I mean, that's stuff that's happening pretty close to home, and we're not done seeing what's going to happen there when it comes to free speech close to home for sure. They said she is no longer with the nonprofit.
Mm.
Wow,
Might be a lawsuit.
might be, might be. But this is not just us. This is I feel like this is hitting close to home, but it's also something that's happening nationwide. Of course, like with the big situations with Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert and everything that's happening there is kind of it's on everybody's mind right now. It's huge. Marlon Harrison in the chat is saying that I feel bad about the people behind the scenes on the Jimmy Kimmel show because now they're out of a job. They're out of
Hmm.
jobs. Yeah, yeah. These whole things shutting down is definitely part of that. Anthony Rogers Writer says right, but if she broke the rules of the organization with the post, she should have been fired. Pastor Wesley had the best take on the white supremacist Kirk and still has his job.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's touchy, man. Everybody's talking about how touchy it is. Everybody from entertainers to comedians to talk show hosts to podcasters are all talking about they don't know what they can say, what they can't say. I think we on this show we say what we gonna say with full awareness that it might come one day. They might come one day and be like, "Nah, y'all got to shut down." And like I said, we been seeing the writing on the wall for a while. I've been trying to figure out how to continue to communicate on the underground, which is kind of where I want to jump in and turn this a little bit. If we can start thinking about that, you guys got some solutions, let us know. We're constantly thinking about it as well and setting up things like the newsletter and other things to try to circumvent a lot of this and be able to keep on saying what needs to be said to the people that want to hear it and to the people that need to hear it. and that's not a total solution for how things are going with our with the broad the broad media scope. The broad media is just to me it's like an OPS thing. Like you can say we can start a private school and that'll help a few of the kids, but OPS still exists and the majority of the kids going to be at OPS and we need to fix OPS. Well, to me it's the same thing. We can have a microcosm of our conversation in podcasting, but the broader broadcast world needs to also be not regulated, not fixed, not getting attacked this way. Something needs to happen there too. So I wonder what that's going to be. I definitely want to put it out there to you, the chat, and everybody in the ghost listener land as well. Let us know. Let's talk about some ideas on that. But you deep in thought over there on something? What you looking at?
I'm kind of looking at the chat, kind of listening to what you're saying. Um, yeah. I'm also thinking of just to flow the conversation where we're going. Um, also thinking of the guests. So yeah, I'm definitely deep in thought on a couple of things, but I agree. Just in this point in time, it is gonna have to go underground. And just how transactional everything is. We kind of hear that's par for the course for Trump, but really looking at all of these situations, whether it's Colbert, whether it's what's going on with Jimmy Kimmel, which we'll get into in a second, and also even makes you think about Nebraska when you see like this nonprofit. What what transaction does the state of Nebraska have with the Trump administration? What are they getting out of this deal? Not only with calling for the McCook Cornhusker Clink, but now again this whole decision to take this grant away from this nonprofit. This was something that was decided by the Nebraska Department of Economic Development, which is wholeheartedly under Pillen's administration. Which again, Pillen has shown the likeliness or the willingness to kiss up to Trump.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. There's a lot of decisions that are being made by the powers that be here on these things, and it is concerning because of that. Um, one right off the one off the top of my head that I think about right now is our NPR station, the KIOS station here in Omaha, 91.5.
Mm-hmm.
They're a NPR affiliate. They have been definitely chiming up and saying we need your support. The problems that's been going on with PBS NPRs is that the member stations aren't able to pay. They're losing funding, so they're not able to really pay a lot, and they're going down. A lot of them are being canceled out and shutting down, and that's an issue. So I mean, in a lot of ways, it's already happening that way, and I don't see anybody in anybody in our state would be fighting that. I see, going along with what Trump wants. It was amazing to hear what he had to say about maybe they ought to lose their FCC license if they're speaking against us. And he's putting it out there as a maybe right now, but that's a call to the FCC director that he put in place.
Right. Right. And it's just all a full I mean it's a clear, violation of the First Amendment. I mean this is very blatant, but again, what does that mean for the judges and what role are they going to play in all of this? And we know, judges are implicated in a lot of this stuff, especially when Trump, and the powers that be are putting them in position. We kind of see the game of chess being played, but I do want to acknowledge what Tony Johnson is saying. That's kind of where my mind is going, and kind of where I mostly wanted to take this conversation today, as far as the economic side of it, and just the traditional old guard versus the new guard, if you will. And Tony Johnson in the chat says, what's going or who going to shut you down if independent? Only your followers have that power." Which is kind of the route and mentality that we seen PBS and NPR take, as you were mentioning. Again, PBS, NPR feeling the struggle or feeling the brunt of the force from the Trump administration. Again, Congress deciding over the summer to eliminate $1.1 billion allocated to public broadcasting, and which of course NPR and PBS themselves will be able to survive through that, based on their funding sources. But the 330 PBS affiliates and the 246 NPR stations on the bottom end of it are feeling the brunt. And again, a lot of those stations are turning to the people. It is becoming power of the people, and that's the whole mentality and idea behind this lanes of change project that we're pushing, and that's the whole message is trying to empower and embolden the people to say, first of all, you can do something, and second of all, it's time to do something, because again, we see the writing on the wall. We see what's happening, and it's not just the communication sides of things, but economics. I mean, society at all sides and all facets is being chipped away at day by day. Let's also keep on top of that. Like every day, something is happening. So
I would like
again,
to go
go
ahead.
ahead. Uh,
I would like to jump in there too, though, because when he said that, I had a little bit of a pushback on this. Who's going to shut down if you're independent? What is true? What is independence? What is true independence? We still are reliant on the technologies and the airwaves that are being controlled by our government. So what truly is independent? What can we do when it comes to communications? It's not just the followers that can shut things down. It is definitely we can you can as you can see, you can be somebody on channel 7, on you can be Jimmy Kimmel and get your show shut down. The problem is that we don't have the infrastructure to continue those things. The one company that I did hear speak up, chime up, that said we will always be championing free speech because we own what we own, is the brothers over there at Fan Base. They're the only ones that's doing that. That made me kind of look into them a little bit more to see about what they mean by ownership. Of course, Isaac Hayes the third is the person that owns Fan Base, and it's a black owned social media company, and he's built that in order for black artists to be able to come over and have a place where they can do what they want to do, and also be able to be monetized within an algorithm messing up their stuff. Now that this stuff is chimed up, Isaac Hayes the third has come out and said, our platform is for free speech always, and it's really kind of solidifying the fact that there's some ownership there. To me, that's one of the things that I'm talking about. It's not just whether or not we have an audience. It's not just whether or not we have the will and the ability to speak out, but where speak out where. Right now, we're using YouTube and Facebook, both owned by oligarchs that sit right up there next to Trump all the time. Anytime these things can start getting shut down. They already have been. Facebook has already been getting rid of videos past 30 days. So they already are erasing stuff off of the site that has been there. And of course, we can go on and on about how many things are being disrupted when it comes to that. But if newspapers get shut down, if our radio stations get shut down, if a FCC decides that they want to, or owners, we also have to think about the people that own these stations as well. They own radio stations. They deregulated this, and then big corporations started buying up all the stations. And so when they want to make a decision to throw a Jimmy Kimmel off, they can. They do. If they want to do a merger, because then they need FCC approval, and they want to kiss up to the FCC, they make moves like that. So it's not just the people that can shut us down. It's definitely the stuff that we use, which I can't wait till our guest Deon Barnes comes on from Stable Gray. They're in the media in the media business, and, where they create a lot of this stuff and they put a lot of this stuff out. I want to hear from everybody that's in the business. What are you guys thinking? Us getting together as people and deciding and figuring out how we can continue the communication is the key, because it might not last on these platforms.
Yeah. But again, that's really the crux of today's debate, because I have to push back on that, because Facebook, YouTube, they're only platforms. They're not the internet. The internet is still the World Wide Web. It's still decentralized. It's still democratized, or not necessarily democratized, but it's still wide open. Versus the old guard that we're seeing with ABC, CBS, who are obviously Fox, obviously co-opted, obviously corrupted, obviously skewed. So what other options do we have? And yeah, I kind of Maggie Miller Jenkins says bring back ham radios.
That's
uh,
real.
Man, but yes, we are definitely going to have those conversations. You even jokingly said in the past, going back to carrier pigeons, like we will have to figure out, in the future, because that is a possibility. It's not like the United States government hasn't tried to clamp down on the World Wide Web before. They've
Well,
already tried, and you see what happened in Nepal. I don't know if we haven't really
right.
talked about it, but if you're paying attention to what happened in Nepal, I mean, it's a very similar conversation. Again, the Nepalese government basically banned all social media sites, and the youth burned it down. Whole revolution took place as a response. And yeah, it is a possibility for this country to go that direction. We've already seen it with TikTok. We've already seen these things kind of played out. But again, right now in this juncture where we are, ABC, CBS, NBC is not the way to go. We can't. It's dead. It's compromised.
Most deaf.
It's done for. So to my point is, especially the economic side of it, yeah, the internet kind of is the way to go right now. And
Bro, if you in China and they decide they don't want you to go outside of China, they shut the internet down over there. And our we have somebody in power right now that is taking example from people like Russia, people places like Russia, places like China that have limited everybody's internet access as well.
again,
Infrastructure.
I'm recognizing that governments will do that. I gave the examples, but again, that hasn't happened yet
Not
in the
yet.
United States.
Not yet.
I'm talking about right now. That hasn't happened yet in the United States. But what
That's
has happened in the United States are platforms like ABC doing things like canceling Jimmy Kimmel.
yeah.
That is
That's
happening right now. That is a
all
reality.
that's been a corporate thing for a while. Let's ask our guest that's now sitting in the wings, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna bring on brother Deon Barnes from Stable Gray, who does use carrier pigeons when they do their information gathering and dissemination as well. They have a whole pigeon coop on the top of the building over there on 24th Street. I'm just playing. Just want to really acknowledge the work that you guys are doing here, man. But thanks for joining us and good morning to you. How you doing?
Good morning, man. It's good to be here, man. My voice sounds a little different in the morning, but yeah, it's good.
Trust me, bro. We get
Yeah, it's all good. We understand. We
we be
understand.
up, we be up at 6:30 going. We gotta get the frogs out.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Gotta get it worked out.
Yeah, yes. That's what the Friday Yippee Skippies about.
Facts on facts. Yeah, it's good to be here, man. Appreciate you guys. Love First Sky. Love what you guys are doing, man. And it's funny because I was catching up on the Jimmy Kimmel stuff last night, and this is the exact reason why I got into media. Because
Mm.
we just didn't have control over our stories, and you see that it's just emanating right now. Like we need to control our stories and our narratives about ourselves because, like you said, traditional media. Not that we ever could fully trust it, but it's
Word.
definitely democratized now. Like the fact-based media, the objective media is not coming from the traditional outlets anymore. So
Yeah, it's a similar story here, man. We got into it for that very reason as well. So, we were I wanted to really anchor what we were doing over there at Mind and Soul at first because I was so mad at how Channel 7 was doing. It was always had a slant and a narrative on the news that they were talking about when it came to us in our neighborhood. So
for sure.
very similar, man, and we're utilizing it hard. I really appreciate that, buddy. I appreciate you bringing up Nepal as well because we definitely need to talk more about that, about how they set things up before they burn things down. They got their communication things in line of each other
Man,
in a big way. The youth really
man.
pulled that off. But we'll get back to that. First of all, first and foremost, man, just want to for those that don't know you, go ahead and introduce yourself. Talk about Stable Gray real quick, so we can start from there.
Okay, for sure, for sure. Well, I'm Deon, co-founder of Stable Gray. Stable Gray is a full-service branding and marketing agency based in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm from North Omaha. We just hit our 10-year anniversary in July. Our focus as an agency, the thing that kind of separates us is we are a not number one, the full service aspect of it. So you can get logo, website, but we can also manage your social media profile. We can build out your story, email. I mean, pretty much every aspect. We do media buys, all over the state of Nebraska. So we can, get you a placement in a newspaper in Kearney or, whatever the case may be. So we do every aspect of media. And this is something that evolved over the first 3 years of our business, just the talent that we brought together. But what really separates us is we serve as a brand translator for companies that are trying to reach diverse communities. I know diverse is like a hot word right now, but whether we have support from the government or not, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be a community of people that we don't know their native language, and we help companies to translate their language, whether that's urban culture from corporate America, or whether that's language translation and things like that. So we help people reach those communities with their branding.
That's what's up.
Nice, nice, nice. A
Appreciate
little
it.
bit in your background before you got into Stable Gray. Kind of what work were. I feel like you have a background in journalism. Am I mistaken in that?
Somewhat. Well, it's more on the media side. So
Okay.
actually, before I started Stable Gray, I was um like I'm definitely a serial entrepreneur, but when I first got into media, it was through music. So I
Okay.
run a recording studio. I always shout out my man Leo Lewis. That was my business partner that really helped me take it from just a guy making beats in the basement to actually servicing customers. So
Mm,
that's kind of where it started at. I was trying to get a music video shot back in my 20s, just a couple years ago, back when I was in my 20s. And I ran into this guy, Jim Nelson from Jim Nelson Media Services, who has passed on. Rest in peace, Jim. But he exposed me to the Channel 3 workflow, because he used to work for Channel 3. So big cameras, a green screen, the seamless walls, he had all the big stuff in there, and it was just like, whoa, this is crazy. And what kind of got me into the camera side was when I graduated from Metro. I was like basically almost a 4.0 GPA. I had like a 3.7 or 3.8 when I graduated.
mm,
And that was a lot of work for me. And then I saw like dozens of other people. And mind you, this is years ago. And there was practically no media coverage. There was very little media coverage. But when somebody gets shot, when somebody robs a store, every news station comes out and covers it, make sure we get a story on that. But there was no media coverage of the positive things, and that just really bothered me. And so that's what got me picking up a camera. And then obviously I used my education plus this plus that, and we just been kind of stacking up, kind of like going through Contra. We've been stacking up weapons as we go. So we got the video, we got the drone, we got the web development. We've just kind of been adding skills along the way.
Weapons of mass communication.
I like it.
There we
I
go.
like it.
There we
You a similar story, man. We same thing with us. I went through the Metro program. I was doing video work before that. Before we jumped into what we did with the radio station. So if you went through the Metro program, you know about Bob Moss and them.
go. Oh
Bob,
yeah.
yeah, Bob Moss is the man over there. Bob used to let us use all the cameras, all the stuff, and also Jim Nelson was a mentor of mine too. He was actually a teacher in one of the classes that I
Yeah,
took.
super
And
solid. Yeah,
super
he was
solid
up.
guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, like just for the record, like when I was at Metro, like I was I kind of saw myself going back into the music industry. I really didn't think I was going to do like this company. So I did a lot of different schooling and stuff and bounced around before I landed on Stable Gray. When I was at Metro, I was actually majoring in finance. So I was on like, working at Mutual of Omaha, like doing all the corporate wearing a suit and tie and stuff every day. And it wasn't until I transferred to UNO and started doing some elective classes in web development that I got more fascinated with like agency type work.
Mm,
So it's evolved over time. Like I said, I mean, I got a CDL class A. I've just done so much schooling to try to figure out what I wanted to do. And
yeah.
God just brought me back to my roots, man, the media stuff.
That's what's up. Another one of our fellow media brothers in the chat, Sherman Wells, said, "Brother Dion is a solid brother. Much love to you, sir." So you get some
Appreciate
props
that.
from Brother Sherman Wells.
Yeah,
Let's jump a little further. We kind of know what your business does. We all have that question too. Where follow the money. Where are we getting our money to run the kind of information that we're trying to run? And doing business is one of them. So I definitely want to shout your business out for the work that you guys do over there as well. But you guys go beyond just the work and just the things that you do. You got the content parlor where you're kind of getting together people in the industry and having some discussions about content, about creation, about our responsibility for what it is that we're disseminating, the news we're disseminating, the communication that we're engaged in, and I feel like you guys are part of that as well. That part of that bigger discussion, a deeper discussion, and I wonder how things like the free speech that's being attacked right now, the stuff that just went down with Jimmy Kimmel, the stuff that's gone down even in Nebraska right now with people speaking out against certain things, and then funding drying up. How is that? How is that? What's your thoughts on it? First of all, on just the state of things, and then I want to get into what your solutions are going to be moving forward for communication. If we have to figure out a new, if we got to start doing carrier pigeons, to figure out some kind of underground situation. How has it
Mhm.
affected you and your business, and just what's your thought on the greater ideas on these things?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Well, the content parlor is the social club for content creators. That if you think of like a golf club, I always give the golf club analogy. You go to a golf club, you learn to work on your 9 iron, your putter, your long swing, how to drive a golf cart, who's who, what's what. So the content parlor is like a club, just like a golf club, where all the networking and stuff can happen. The idea for it came about because we, first of all, when we started our business, we first got our space on the Abide campus on 45th and Bedford. And we were doing like um, our meetings while photography and stuff was happening over on the side. So it was just real chaotic. And so that's why we ended up getting our space on 24th Street to separate it out. But what we noticed is that there was a great need for access to this stuff because we're kind of self-funded, especially like the first 5 years. So we were buying equipment we needed, but then it was just sitting there. So we also noticed that people needed the same equipment. So we just started letting our friends and stuff use the studio. And it's like, wait a second, there's a lot of people that need this. And then kind of what tipped the scale is when Rockbrook Camera moved their location even further west. So
Mm.
now to be able to rent a lens, to be able to rent a camera for a photo shoot or whatever, now you got to go all the way to like 168th or 180th and Center now.
Oh
So
wow, I
there's
didn't
Mhm.
know that.
yeah, so there's nothing on this side of town where you can get access to equipment. There are studios, but there's nobody like really wrapping their arms around you, like helping you navigate these things. So the content parlor is that brand. The content parlor studio is the place. And then we have the parlor awards is our conference where networking can happen. Cause like when we do our podcast, folks on the podcast start networking with each other. So
Mhm.
people will come into the studio, we'll have our podcast, and then afterwards, like, well, let me get your number. Let me. So the conference is a place where that can happen at scale. So now instead of it being 2 or 3 people, it can be 100 people, 200 people. People from Chicago, people from Kansas City can join in. So all of those different pieces make up the content parlor as far as like where the state of things are and where the opportunities and things like that. I think number one, we saw that coming, right? Being so close to this stuff, working and eating and sleeping and living it every day, we saw it coming that the industry is changing, not just AI, but yeah, the election cycles, where the money's going. And be quite honest, I mean, we've been impacted as well. A lot of our money flows through nonprofits and nonprofit funding, whether it be Metro or some nonprofit around town. A lot of their money is dried up or slowed down, and a lot of companies are just scared to spend money because they don't want to align with certain things that could cause their budgets to get cut. So it's a hot mess. Me personally, I think what we're doing is going to be the big industry in the future. Like First Sky is the big industry. Content Parlor is the big industry. I think it's just a perfect storm of like things coming together where if you're not creating your own content, if you're not telling your own story, it's just going to be hard to get employed by other people there'll be some jobs, but I think over time it's going to be more about the individuals and small groups of people building something fresh. And it's just because we've consolidated. The market has consolidated as much as it can. So there's no more consolidation can really happen. Now it's like it's got to fragment. It's got to break up. So that's my thoughts on it. And I think one of the things that's holding a lot of people back is just like this pie in the sky, get rich quick stuff. It's like it doesn't matter. Like just talk about a subject that you care about and do that over a sustained period of time. I mean, we've seen it happen, right? I mean, like, I look at like the who's the dudes that do the roast meat thing. Gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue, but they do like that roast meat show. So then you had come out of that like Tony Baker and all these different comedians now are like got millions of followers. These cats were just doing like cat videos 10 years ago. So
Right.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
where it's at. MKBHD, all these different cats were just posting about stuff they care about. And most people would have said it was whack content 10, 15 years ago. So you just got to stick with it.
That's crazy. I'm sorry. It's just funny you mentioned that because I was just talking to a comedian that's on that show last night. Like just talking to her last night, and yeah, just talking about that very thing, being a comedian and speaking out, and the pressure not only they're feeling, but comedians are feeling as well. But it's funny you brought that up. Go ahead, Paul.
So the thing I'm thinking about right now is the reason why we have put together what we call our content creator camps is because we've been leaning towards Buddy, especially Buddy. Buddy is the one who is the broadcast journalist. He is the newsman, and he's really taught me even like bringing this consistency of our angle is that we're going to be doing news and dissemination and outreach to people talking about what the news is and so on, and that's our lane. And our lane has much more to do with journalism than it does content, but we're using the elements of content creation in order to push that news, so like you're describing. And so the whole thing behind the content creators camp is to take people that are doing content on that level, like you say, the comedians, the artists, the Tony Bakers, and so on, infuse them with the elements of journalism in order for them to be a trusted source on what you're describing, like something that you're passionate about that you can speak on them over time as well. And like Tony Johnson is saying in the chat, consistency is key. These are some of the things that we are envisioning now is the new thing as well. I think we're in total agreement with what you're talking about right now. That's the future, is these kind of small conglomerates that get together and figure out different ideas on how to disseminate information, how to get that information out, and not just do cat videos, but now the who, what, where, why, and how of journalism on top of that, in order to really, because this is where we get our news now. It's where we get our information, is when we go to social media. So you guys being in 10 years in the game, on the forefront of that kind of media creation, tell me about some of the people that you've been connected with. You said you do media buys and stuff like that too. So what are you seeing just in that side of the industry on people that are out here using your services to be these kinds of small entities that we're talking about that is changing the game? And how many black companies are doing this in Omaha? Give us a little information on the people that you guys serve as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're the biggest according to the DD. We're the biggest Department of Economic Development. We're the biggest African American owned agency in the state of Nebraska.
Really?
We employ 5 full time, and then we've got about 20 to 25 contractors that we work with, just depending on the project that it's required, the requirements. There are others, obviously. I got to shout out my big brother, Jason at Surreal Media Labs. And, also, I start to think of even like, some of these smaller entities that are just like a one person shop across the state. But, where it's at right now, I think it's shifting. I think we got in at the right time. I don't know if agency like ours could coexist alongside of ours. Maybe they could, But and I'm just gonna be frank, like or Nebraska is very whitewashed, and you have to have a certain ability to code switch to even navigate some of these
Mm,
things. And we just have a unique position because of when we got in that we're able to navigate those things. But and I don't say that to discourage anybody. I'm just saying, like, it is tough. It has not been easy for us to get where we've been, and we've had to stick through some really weird situations. But I do, despite that, I do think that that things are moving in the right direction, and folks are starting to see that, being a not having this whitewashed look about your style and things like that, you can still be effective and impactful with branding and marketing. Some of the
mm,
other people, like the things that I see that I really like, are actually more like industry specific. So I think like Kale Walker, he's
mm.
in real estate. He's a real estate agent, but he's using the content creation to help sell real estate. I like that kind of angle for people. It's like find a niche
Mhm.
and kind of build it up. Some of these folks will be at our conference in November. Cameron Logsden, he does like the impressions. It's from I play basketball with this dude. Had no idea this dude had 1 million followers on Instagram.
Right.
I'm like, what the heck?
He's
But
incredible.
yeah, but there's folks like that are using the content creation to to share content with their niche, and I think that's where the opportunities are going to be at going forward. Even like Ching Diamond. Ching Diamond is another great example of like, hey, I'm a rapper, but I'm gonna hang this donut down and really lean on these stereotypes. I mean that's a really dope angle. So I think those types of lanes is like where it's going to be going forward. And then I was going to say too about your content creator camp. There's room, man. There's room. Like we don't feel like this scarcity mindset, like we're competing with other people. We feel like there's room for other people to do similar things. You just have to separate it a little bit so that people know why they're coming to yours versus coming to ours. And then just don't do it on the same day. Like we doing ours on November 14th. Do yours on like the 17th.
Yeah. Yeah. We say that a lot, especially right now. We're trying to build the audiences. We definitely need to support each other's dates. I say that a lot. We're
Mhm.
doing something similar, man. Of Fun Fest we're starting our first Sky Omaha Fun Fest fundraiser and celebration on October the 18th. I'm not sure if you've been reached out to yet, but we definitely sending out an invite for you guys to come through on this one as well, and we'll definitely come through on yours because you have the Parlor Awards that's coming up. It's going to be at Culture House on November the 14th. This is really dope. Focus on monetizing creativity. I definitely now that when I gain more understanding about what you guys are doing on your end, I definitely can see how we can collaborate the content creator camp within what it is you guys are doing as well. Because,
Mhm.
like I said, we're really on this angle of teaching people the tenets of journalism and bringing and making them trusted sources in the community. Whereas you guys, I can see you guys will probably be able to help with the actual content creator tools and the things that they need in order to enhance their content creation as well. Every time we have a class, they go, well, how do we use TikTok? And I'm like, well, it's not really why we're here. You have to kind of, we can probably put something together to show you how to do more TikTok videos. But the point is the content that you're putting on TikTok is where we're standing. So I can see the collaboration forming, and the more I understand what you guys are doing. So I appreciate that. Now, for those of you just joining us, it's 8:09 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, you guys are well into the second hour of First Guy Omaha in the morning. In the morning, I got to sing them myself because Buddy got some tech things going on. Tech is teching this morning, so we'll figure it out. It is Friday, and we are in the chat right now with the CEO of Stable Gray, Deon Barnes, and he's letting us know about the state of things too in this conversation. If you have any questions for him, please let him know. I see a question from Tony Johnson saying, "Is there a list of black podcasters, podcasts, or media shows? Is there a list of black ones? We definitely would like to hear that." He's also saying consistency is key. Over the last year or so, many had rollout of their new media just to stop after an episode or two. So maybe they needed your services in order to continue that on. He also says a lot of content creators locally are just sharing other people's content, not original content. Creativity hard to see through that. Understandable too. Yeah, we have a need for news dissemination as well, which is kind of one of the reasons why that happens. And so we encourage the shares because we don't always see it on all of our different social media platforms that we're on. So
Hmm.
appreciate that very much. Tony, also Stephen Abraham in the chat. Good morning. Says I used to get a lot of pushback when I said the revolution will be televised.
Mm.
Sue Kessler Hagen says, and here we are. So I feel like that's really part of this thing, man. It's part of what's happening here is that the idea is that it will be televised because we all have cameras in our pockets. Now we
Hmm.
all have accounts and content created that we create content on. So I see you guys in a lane in the forefront big time. Especially, I was thinking about Jim Nelson had the spot right across the street from you guys on 24th Street for years,
Yeah.
and when he passed, and there was no studio in the hood anymore. So like we're in a different time, and I appreciate. I didn't really even know that you guys had been going on for 10 years. So to find out this is your 10-year anniversary and to learn more about what you're doing, I'm just like, oh, they've been in the game. They've been in the
Hmm.
game hard. So I love the lane that you guys are choosing. What's next? What's the future of? I know we can talk a little bit more about your event coming up, but what's the future of Stable Gray and your projects?
Yeah. Well, the first thing on that first question from Brother Johnson, we're going to put together a list of like who's um, alongside the conference that we're doing. We're still trying to figure that out. It probably won't be comprehensive this first year because this is our pilot conference, but we are working on that, putting together a list so that people know who's who and who's doing what. And that's part of the purpose of the award show is to give recognition to, I probably mentioned some names today that people hadn't even heard of, and that's just starting off. But as far as like Stable Gray as a core business, you know, we're just scratching the surface, man. It takes so long to get started here just because of the politics and the banks and the relationships. Everything is very siloed here, and that's the reason why there's a lot of really bright, intelligent people of color here that just need funding and just need people to wrap their arms around them. I kind of feel bad for a lot of these Caucasian people looking for opportunities because I mean it's a gold mine. It's a gold mine. I mean, can you imagine us with $1 million investment, just $1 million studio? I mean, you see what Fallen Giant is doing, or
Hmm.
Randy Goodwin.
Hmm.
I mean, we could have a Hollywood here. We can have a lot of different things if but folks are just so siloed, and so hopefully the Parlor Awards will help to break that up. I think like I said, as far as Stable Gray as a core business, we want to get to 10 six-figure paying jobs. That's our goal. Right now we have 5 middle class jobs. So
Hmm.
the CEOs, our income fluctuates. So, don't quote me on my income,
Right.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
we
we're,
always
we're
we always got to pay into the business before we get paid half the time.
right.
So I
Them
understand.
taxes is crazy, man. It's crazy, and they gonna get their money. But yeah, I think that's the goal for us. That's our biggest goal right now is $1 million payroll. So if we can do 10 six-figure jobs, that'll be the crowning jewel of like this first phase of our goals. And then we want to purchase a building. We want to have an actual space where it's a dedicated studio and a dedicated space for Stable Gray. Expansion out of the state. We're looking at doing some things in Texas and in Tampa. Tampa's for those who know me, that's a place I love to frequent. So I wouldn't mind having an excuse to go down there. But also, Texas is a market that is similar to ours, believe it or not, like in
Mm.
Austin, Houston, where there's not a whole lot of agencies like ours down there. So that's kind of where we're headed next, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. The market's changing a lot. This AI is really really this it's very polarizing for people to figure out, like, is there actually value in this estimate they're sending us? I could
Mhm.
get Chat GPT. It's like, well, you still got to put the hours in. You still got to know how to prompt it. You still got to, quality control everything. So we'll see what happens, but that's the goal, and we're on our way towards that.
That's what's up. Appreciate that. Okay, looks like we getting Buddy's tech issues taken care of here. Appreciate that. Uh, right on, man. Let me jump into the chat one more time. I know that we agreed to. It's about 8:15 right now. I know that we had a set time we were going to talk to you, but if you could stay just for one more question. Maggie Miller Jenkins is asking, what would be your top suggestion for someone starting a digital magazine? She says, as an activist, I'm deeply seeking leftist spaces in Lincoln, Omaha. What media beyond First Sky would you suggest? So, a couple questions there.
I think, first of all, I think activism as a whole, I think, folks definitely have to come forward. Come forward. I view what I do as a form of activism. It's a form of protesting against a traditional job. This is about job creation. That's why we're doing this business, is to
Mhm.
create jobs so that people don't have to go and work somewhere else. They can stay right here in North Omaha and do this cool stuff. But yeah, I think, building that kind of business, it is tough right now. Like, I understand the question so well. We've had these meetings with Omaha Star and Flatwater Free Press, and even Noise is trying to spin some stuff back up again, and it's tough because the funding is such a big part of it, right? But I think the building is less important than working with a good group of people. If you can get together, 2 to 3 really, really, solid people with good content, right? They're good at using Chat GPT. They're good at controlling narrative, or they're good with a camera. Whatever their format is, find like 2 or 3 solid people that can rock with you and build it that way. And the reason why I say that is, like, one of the reasons people don't know, like, how we were able to survive 10 years. We made it through COVID, which a lot of people didn't make it. I mean, there's agencies I could shout out right now that they didn't make it,
Wow.
and yeah, like one of them I worked for, and they had a $2 million contract when I was working for them. But yeah, before I went full time with Stable Gray. But we made it through COVID because we built it with no debt. Up until COVID, we didn't have any debt.
Right.
So when COVID happened, it was like, oh well, I mean, I never missed a mortgage payment. I'm sitting in my house right now. I've had this house for almost 10 years. So I never missed a mortgage payment. And it was because we didn't have any debt. It wasn't because, I'm just like this tycoon. We just built it the right way. So I think it's less about having a building, because this question kind of suggests, like, having this infrastructure. The
Mhm.
infrastructure is your team. The infrastructure is your paperwork. Make sure that when you set up your business entity, and you get to that point where you need to start paying taxes, pay your taxes. Make sure you have your emerging small business, designation. Make sure you're doing all of your, maybe just sit down with like the Omaha 100 or something like that, and just talk about, like, what they look for. Like, talk to companies that will give you funding and ask what they look for, and then go check those boxes off, right? And a lot of that stuff is just like government designations and things like that. You got to have this bank account. You got to have this, your tax ID, all your basic stuff. And then make sure you get you an accountant. Make sure you get you an accountant, because accountant will look out for things that you just don't know. Like, laws change, stuff changes over time. So it's just that back office stuff. I think when you talk about trying to build up a media company, build the back first, build your team and build the infrastructure. Forget the office, forget all that glitz and glam stuff. Build it back first, and then when the market does like this, it don't matter because you built it the right way.
Yep. Them taxes ain't no joke. I
Yeah.
appreciate your time, brother. We want to let you get going, and I also want to make put your information in. She's asking, how do we connect with you? She says, how does someone get connected with you for consultation? Do we have a flyer for the event that you're doing? So, is there any way, email address, something I can put in the chat for people to get a hold of you?
Yeah, for sure. So on the website, it's stablegray.com/appointments. And then email is Deon@stablegray.com. And it's Gray. You spell it the American way, not the European way with the E. But you
Said
know,
Deon.
I'm just a big kid, man. You know, I like to travel. I like to have fun. I like to build relationships with people, good quality relationships with people. So you know, we're not super serious. I just want to set the tone. If you hit us up, it's not going to be this, you know, like super corporate thing. You know, we're just people from the community, man. You know what I'm saying?
Feel
And
that.
you know, reach out to us about whatever. You know, hit me up if you just have a question about something else. It ain't even got to be about like marketing or something, because you know we've dealt with that as well. But happy to help. That's the point.
There you go. They say save the date, man. Celebration of Creatives, November 14th at the Culture House. Get paid to create. It's going down. Parlor Awards. Learn, grow, connect. Love that very much. Join the Parlor Awards community. Definitely check them out. The Parlor, the Content Parlor. That's a YouTube channel. Where can they see the content for your Content Parlor shows?
Yeah, we're all over the socials. So yeah, YouTube is where the full episodes are. You know, we don't have the super high tech stuff that First Sky has. So we just have a little YouTube channel. Um, no, but we have a website as well, contentparlor.com. And then yeah, any of the social media platforms, just do @content parlor and you'll find us.
That's what's up. Check your boy out on there. I got mine coming up too.
Okay,
I
okay.
got to, I got to spend some time with the fellas, so definitely check that out. You've been seeing teasers, so check that out.
Yeah, that
Episode
that should
120.
drop actually tomorrow. That might
Hey,
drop tomorrow.
That's what's up.
So yeah,
Appreciate it.
we in
Appreciate it.
we in all y'all airwaves. So y'all just get used to seeing us.
that's right.
There you go. I appreciate you, man. Anything? Any last words for our guest, buddy?
Man, man. Before Buddy speak, man, I just want to say to Buddy, man, like I admire and respect you. Like I don't get to speak with you as much because you out of town on me, but you know, he done sold his soul to Atlanta. I see the hat.
Yeah, AT Alien now.
Yeah, but man, got a lot of love and respect for this dude. Dude is a DJ. Dude is super talented web developer. If I could poach him, I would. I mean, it's too late, but a lot of respect, man, for a lot of respect.
Thank you, thank you.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah. Okay,
We'll,
y'all.
we'll talk to you soon.
Peace and love.
Yeah.
Peace, peace, peace. All right, there you go, brother
Yeah,
Dion.
yeah. Quick,
That's
quick check.
cool.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, you definitely got the room tone going on now. So I take your internet's down and
No,
yeah,
I don't know what's going on, man. Tech is taking the day, man. Yeah.
tech is teching on a Friday. Ain't that a mess? Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys hanging through that interview there. If you missed any parts of the interview, definitely go check it out on YouTube. The brother had a lot of good things to say there, and a lot of resources there as well. So that's what's really going on. Coming in again. What you got going on? We can still hear you, buddy. Are you there, buddy? Okay. All right. I don't know what's going on, bro. We'll take a quick break and come right back. It's a 9:19. Wait, no, that's the date. It's 8:24 right now. If you believe in the concept of time in Omaha, Nebraska, stay tuned. Again, we'll be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning. In the morning, Paul B for the moment. Maybe Buddy the Guy will come back. We'll see. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and see you now. Okay. Buddy's back. Buddy's back. Everybody clap your hands. Tech is teching this morning, y'all. Anthony Moreno gives us a goodbye. Appreciate you. Also, RG said, Buddy hollering at an empty Mountain Dew can. For real, bro. That's what it sounds it sounds like.
Yeah, I couldn't do 30 minutes of that. Yeah, that wasn't gonna work.
Yeah, man. It's all good, bro. We hanging tough. We hanging tough. It's all good. Wait,
Man.
camera right. Yeah.
Shout out to brother Deon.
Yeah, man. That was a nice shout out he gave you for sure, bro. Like, it's interesting how we all are doing stuff together and don't really be knowing everything that we all doing. So this thing that he's got coming up, man, and this is the reason why we're doing our thing too. This Parlor Awards is for us to really kind of collab. It's about coalition building.
Yeah.
It's about coalition building big time. That's Parlor Awards. It's happening on November 14th, and even before that, the First Sky Fun Fest fundraiser celebration is happening October 18th. So a couple instances where we can kind of all get together in the same room, network, collab, figure out what everybody's doing, so we can figure out how to weave that into what we're doing. And one of the reasons why we have the silos we do is because half the time we don't even know what the other entities are doing. So this is a
Man.
good opportunity to really figure that out. So, this is Friday, so we're talking about things that's happening on the weekend. Didn't really have too much, but this is one thing you can do, some Love Supreme
Hey.
activity right here. You can go check out Sky Ree's In My Own Cloud exhibition. It's going on till October 1st over there at the Mule Barn on the campus of the Fort campus of MCC. You can go check that out. The address is 5300 North 30th, 68, of course, over there on the North Campus. And yeah, definitely go check this out, man. This is a friend of First Sky Omaha right here. He was one that helped us design our first Sky shirt.
Yeah, man.
And he's a really super talented artist. I know you've been seeing his style around. And of course, he's half of the rap group Both as well. So super talented, what we call multifunctional dude, heavy on the funk.
Mm-hmm.
Can do various things as an artist, Renaissance man. And yeah, he gets down. So definitely go check him out, support his work. This is something that you can do over the weekend as well. Go check out the Mule Barn Gallery and check out the exhibit. And yeah, it's going down, man. If you want information, you can go to at Skyree, which is SCKYREI, and just hit him up. He'll give you some information about all of it. So if you got anything going on this weekend that you think is cool, that is artist based, man, entertainment, anything that is going to give us a cause to be able to relax, take it easy, rejuvenate, get our spirits high because of the art. Definitely would love to hear about that if you're going to be able to get out and about this weekend and let us know what you're going to do. So
There you go.
appreciate that very much, man. How you feeling over there, buddy? I know you
I'm
were supposed to.
flustered, but yeah, we're gonna keep on keeping on. We're gonna keep on keeping on. Not sure where to go from here, but we here. We here. Appreciate the patience and yeah, the support as always, y'all. It's
Yeah,
Friday.
it is Friday. It is Friday. Yeah, we'll definitely jump back into a few things. Let me think of some things that's on top of my mind too, man. Rick Fulton earlier in the chat talked about this Creighton situation with this $300 million that just got
Yep.
infused and how much space they're going to be taking up in North Omaha with all of the new buildings that are coming, $300 million worth. Somebody gave him $100 million donation, one of the biggest donations Creighton ever got in one lump sum.
Man.
And so somebody who got a lot of money is really, really, really ready for Creighton to expand and take over more of North Omaha. How do we feel about that? We'll definitely be jumping in. Those are some of the things that we kind of planned on talking about today too. Also, this celebration is coming up in November. I know it's a ways off, but I think that you ought to mark your calendars for this. It's going to be huge, bro. The construction completion celebration at the Omaha Public Library is going down. So that big building they're building over there on 72nd and Dodge. I'm amazed that the construction completion is going to be by November. It's such a big building. There's so many things to it. I didn't know they was moving this fast. So
Man.
when I saw this, I was tripping. Yeah, November 13th is going down 4:30 to 7 o'clock. Formal invitation to follow. Yeah, just save the date because we're going to be checking it out. And then it looks like the library will be opened after that date. So we'll get some more information on when the actual opening is going to happen. But the construction completion celebration is happening Thursday, November 13th. Very interesting stuff.
Man.
Big way.
Man.
And don't forget September 27th, man, Terrace Bud Crawford's Victory Parade still happening, going down Parade Route 19th in Farnham to 10th in Harney. Ceremony at Heartland of America Park. Shout out to the mayor's office and Sister Raquel and everybody Sister Precious, everybody who was a part of putting these things together, because this is going to be huge and the champ absolutely deserves it. Shout out to everybody who's behind this in a big way. And let's be out there, get out there for the champ.
Man.
Yep,
I'd love
yeah,
to be there if I could.
yeah, man. Appreciate everybody. Let's see, let's see. What did you say when y'all coming to the Sherman Stain? What you talking about? Anthony Rogers, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Oh,
But
event.
also,
It
mhm.
says to Sherman's event.
Oh, which the Sherman's event? Oh, you talking about the Sunday sermon, Sunday? What's it called? The Untamed Summer events. Yeah, yeah, we're trying to get back out there before those end up too. Yeah, I appreciate you reminding me about that. Yeah, definitely the Sherman events. Also, you said something earlier too about the same playbook from Columbia University did in Harlem. We talking about what Creighton is doing with the college moving in on North Omaha. He said this is not the first time this has happened. He said same playbook as Columbia University did in Harlem. I guess this is what is meant by international economic development, or is that intentional gentrification? Definitely something to look at, man. I appreciate you giving us the example from this happening somewhere else because I think everybody's having this feeling. Everybody wants to see the progress, but also at the same time, we feel like there's so much. It's the Creighton campus is right up against North Omaha, and they're taking up some of more of even north downtown Omaha with some of this new construction. And there's just so much construction that's going on there. It's such a part of the community for it to be so separate of feel separate to the community for it to be that close and that much of the community and how far in will we be going into the north side. So these are all questions that I think a lot of us are having about this. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go ahead and move on from there, buddy. Kind of dreamed out today a little bit. You all right? You good?
Yeah, I had a whole flow of the show. I had a whole vision of the show. I had it locked down and then
All right.
just fell
Well,
apart. Just
got to
fell
go with the
apart.
flow though, bro.
Yeah, yeah, we here. We here. I'm still here.
100 days, Ewing. This is he's been in office now 100 days. And so what's the scorecard here? What are we looking at? What changes has happened on the 100th day of his time in this seat already? We dropped our second edition of the Lanes of Change Elements of Revolution video. It's on YouTube right now. Definitely go check it out. It's more of our conversation with Mary Ewing that we had a little while ago. So we appreciate you guys who all went over and saw the intro to Lanes of Change and liked that. So I appreciate if you go over to YouTube and check this out, like this
Check it
one,
out.
and subscribe when you're there too. But yeah, man, 100 days in, how you feeling about what's going on here? You getting any answers answered from Mary Ewing's first 100 days, buddy? How you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of delivering on the promise that he made when we spoke to him, especially all the development. As far as the housing, he promised a major investment in affordable housing. We've already seen 40 million. We talked about that last episode. There's already a few other projects underway. So seeing that, kind of not really surprised, seeing what I expected, especially being a the treasurer, and his just economic background, and the moves that he's been making, bringing on the likes of Sister Raquel, some of the things going on with that. Not surprised. Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good so far. Holding true to what I said, I feel like will be his defining thing as far as what happens with the police, community relations, and how that, especially now with Trump ramping things up, how will he respond in that environment? That's kind of what I'm looking out for. How how will he kind of impact, I guess is the word to look for, the relationship between Omaha police and the Douglas County Sheriff's Office. See, will he continue to allow Aaron Hansen to do what he's doing, or will we see some pushback? So there's definitely still some questions that haven't been answered, but as far as what I've seen in the first 100 days, it's kind of par for the course, what I've expected. I would definitely love to hear from the people. What do you think about the first 100 days? There is something that I didn't get to mention earlier, as far as Mayor Ewing announcing a series of press conferences moving forward to talk about, not the past 100 days, but talk about the future of Omaha as he sees it. The next town hall will take place October 16th at the Kroc Center. That's in South Omaha. Again, the Salvation Army Kroc Center. That's 2825 Y Street. Also, October 20th at the Learning Community Center of North Omaha, and a few others around the community as well, about 2 or 3 more. So we'll maybe drop this information in the chat. Town halls will run from 6 to 7:30. And yeah, definitely get your questions answered and kind of hear directly from Mayor Ewing himself. So there we go.
Definitely want to hear from the people about what you think has been going on so far. We had a little advantage of being able to speak to him early on, and
Hmm.
hearing him speak again. You can see some of that conversation if you go to YouTube and check out the second installment of Lanes Have Changed. More conversation with him, and you'll see some of the things that he said to us that we are been really kind of looking and seeing, and trying to figure out what's going on with his plans. That was kind of
Right.
the idea too, and seeing if he was going to be living up to those plans. So far, he's been doing what he said, and now I'm forming more ideas about what it is I think he should be doing as well. As these things are starting to come to fruition, we're understanding what it all means. Hearing different commentary, like I say, you go check out conversations with Cheryl Weston, who had a lot to say about that 40 million
Hmm.
that's been dropped as well, and the streetcar situation and so on. We are all looking to see whether or not he's doing what he say he's going to do. That's first. That's the first thing that happens with anybody elected position. Are they living up to their campaign promises?
Hmm.
It's kind of what you look at. Seems so far so good. Uh, I'm ready for him to make some other changes and more promises of change and some actual movement
Hmm.
on some things that I wasn't even thinking about like 100 days ago. So it's also forming over time, and I hope that his plan is shifting over time as well. Seems like he's got a pretty good team in there to help him move some things forward. So we'll see how it happens. He's done a lot of touring around the city and hitting different groups and shaking hands with folks and making sure that they know he's available, which is something that he said he was going to do when we talked to him. He said he was going to make himself available to be able to listen to the people. So that's been going on. So, but now I'm forming some new ideas. So let us know what your new ideas are too. What it is that he might be able to do, and how we can kind of dive into that and see if this is something that we can suggest and figure it out. So that's what's up. Anthony Rogers writes, is telling the chat chimers aren't chiming on Ewing's first 100. Like I said, I think we have a little bit of advantage because we were actually able to talk to him, and he gave us
Hmm.
some ideas of what he said. He's doing what he said he's going to do, and we know
Right.
because we talked to him about it. But yes, I don't know if that's general. I don't know if that's general information. You know what it looks like to people that are not talking to him directly on that.
Hmm.
Not sure what it looks like. There's a lot because I can see some people's point. Kind of feels like nothing's really changed. It's like quite yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
I
same
mean,
same team. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, the same staff situation. I understand people's feelings on that. I would say I have seen some comments about the development, and Mayor Ewing not really reversing any of the, really pushing what Stalter did, and that's actually is what I expected. I'm not expecting
Yeah.
Ewing to come in and shake stuff up and like, no, we're not going to do this. Most of the projects, regardless of how you feel about how the projects came to be, most of the projects that were going and planned under Stothard most likely will still come to fruition under Ewing. What I'm expecting from Ewing and what he said, and again, all you can do is hold a person to what they said they're going to do. You know what I mean? If
Mhm.
he has a plan, he has ideas, he's talked to people, and he's following that plan. Whether or not that plan works is another conversation, but we can start
Yeah.
on, okay, is he following his plan?
Right. Yeah, is he a
And
person of his word?
right. And he said that he doesn't want to let North and South Omaha. That's the change that I'm expecting. I'm not expecting him to stop the streetcar. I'm not expecting him to stop um crossroads from getting built. That stuff is going to happen. The money is spent. What I'm looking for is making sure that North and South Omaha doesn't get left in the dust,
Mhm.
which it is going to take more than 100 days to do that.
Yeah, and more planning, and because I haven't heard enough of the plan to enhance North and South Omaha enough for me to quite know what he's going to do yet. So I definitely think that you're right. The litmus test really at first is he a person of his word? Is he doing what he said he was going to do? But now after 100 days for me, over time, new ideas are popping up about what can be done,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm hoping that we can get to that. I'm hoping to find out from him what he plans on doing with some of that stuff. Kara Warner in the chat says 100 days isn't much to see real true change, but I'm hopeful.
Agreed.
Black Dynamite in the chat. Good morning. Says I love how Mayor Brother Ewing is just involved in community, and you see him everywhere. Yeah, people are appreciating that he is out and about, and that's what he spent the first 100 days really doing is really tagging in with the different groups and different people and making himself available to the people to hear what they have to say. He mentioned that in our conversation as well that he doesn't know everything and he wants to hear from people about stuff. Definitely has that kind of attitude. So we'll see. Tony Johnson says he needs a website that documents the changes and accomplishments he speaks on. A lot of goals with no specifics, similar to campaign. Okay, might be something to suggest that he engages a little bit more communication about what's being done for sure. Magie Miller Jenkins. I always say her name wrong. Sorry. The affordable housing starts at 1,400 a month. Maybe he can work on towards legally defining what affordable means. We asked him that question directly when we talked to him, and he definitely was talking about the third of your income,
Mm-hmm.
standard situation there. So we'll see. Anthony Rogers Rice says, I don't think he's even considering how the city produces and distributes energy. OPPD is selling us out, and Ewing has not said the phrase climate change once since he's sworn in. Because for a person who's is paying attention to the climate change out here as hard as you are, I appreciate you paying attention to that and seeing where he stands on that. We definitely need to find out. Also, he's given an example of somebody outside of town too. Compare Ewing to Zoran Mamdani, who I promise you will transform NYC in his first 100 days.
We'll
Hope
see.
so.
Yeah.
We'll see. Tony Johnson says, "What has the community liaisons and other staff accomplished in 100 days?" Good question. Kara Warner says he's accessible, and I love that about him. Definitely more. I definitely feel like he's more accessible than our previous mayor, for sure. So I appreciate that very much. Anthony Rogers Wright is saying he uses the same tired 30% of AMI definition, which is to say he has no definition and of holding the affordable housing's industrial complex. Uh, yeah, I would like some more on that too. I definitely have learned over time here that it's not about that definition of 30% of your income. Luckily, I feel like he has a plan for helping people to get to grow their incomes as well, but
My
that's not really
thoughts.
doing anything from like pulling the rent down though too. Is needs to happen simultaneously, not just
Mm-hmm.
waiting on our salaries to grow and
Yeah.
things like that. So yeah, lots to talk about. It will have to continue to do that. Yeah, that's part of this whole thing too is that we have an opportunity here to make something happen with the new mayor and a person that is from North Omaha has got some things on his mind, some plans. And we just have to kind of make sure that we are keeping everybody in check, keeping each other in check, keeping him in check, and
Mm.
keep the questions going, flowing to him.
Yeah. Also, as we kind of the last 15 minutes, and this is kind of rounding back up into today's arc and just the conversation of everything we've been talking about. what's also dawning on me is not just, all the things that are on the ground level when we talk about development, community, police relations, but I am curious as we see things tighten on the national level from the federal side. That will be also a big indication of Mayor Ewing's success and leadership, is how does he navigate us through this Trump administration. That's a big thing. That is going to be a big thing, especially seeing what we're seeing from Pillin. And at the state level, again, we've already been talking about the Cornhusker clink. We haven't really talked about today. We mentioned it, but this whole call for voter registration, things like that. So we're seeing. My point is, we're seeing Nebraska toe the line. We're seeing not even really toe the line, but pick a side. We've seen
Mhm.
um Pillin and officials in the state are going along with the foolishness. But what does that mean? What role will Ewing play in that? And that will also have bearing on how personally I view. I don't know about y'all, but how I view his leadership. Kind of going back to last episode, brother Anthony Rogers, right? He was asking about my hat. I had on the Baltimore Orioles hat. If you realize Baltimore has a black mayor. Atlanta has a black mayor. A lot of these hats that I am wearing and will be wearing are, kind of a silent ode and nod to these black cities that are being pressured. You might don't be surprised if you see me with a Bears hat on or a Cubs hat on. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody Ricketts owns the Cubs, so maybe not that, but maybe a White Sox hat. Maybe a White Sox hat. You never know. But yeah. Again, that's a slight, style thing, but that's where my mind is. Thinking about these mayors, thinking about these cities, DC, possibly getting another wave, getting more pressure. So, that is something that I'm also looking at when we talk about Ewing, his first 100 days, and how he responds to some of these things that undoubtedly we will see come down the pipe.
Most def. Let me boost myself up a little bit. Archie's playing sound man now. Is that better? Let us know. Let us know.
Mm.
Appreciate you bearing with us through the tech issues that we're having today for sure. Really appreciate that very much. One more comment. Anthony Rogers Rice says, I'd like to see Mayor Ewing be more like Mayor Johnson from Chi-Town, who just did this.
Not
Okay,
sure what
wait,
he
let me
did.
put that in. Yep. Majima Jenkins says, is he agreeing for OPD to sign the 280G agreement to collaborate with ICE? I'm not sure if he's doing that, but I know that he has spoken out against ICE several times,
Mm-hmm.
and is not going along with anything that's happening on that end. But we'll see. We'll see what that means. I'm not sure about this agreement that you're speaking of here, and whether or not OPD is he agreeing for OPD to sign that. Okay, good question. We'll have to look into that for sure.
Yeah. If you got any information on that agreement, send it to us because I haven't heard about anything as far as a possible agreement between OPD and ICE. I know we talked to Commissioner Garcia and a few other officials about OPD. I guess they said help with traffic, and actually we did talk to Mayor Ewing about that as far as OPD. He did say that there was some traffic stuff that they were helping with, but as far as detaining people and really getting front lines with ICE, not really the case. But again, if you have any more information, let us know.
Please do. Before we wrap up the rest of the show here, just want to remind people about the notice that Senator Terrell McKinney put out, North Omaha Turnback Tax Committee. Speaking of committees that we need to really have a discussion about, department, the DED, is an organization that is pretty much controlled by Pillin, like we said earlier, and we need to talk about it because there are some funds still out there for the turnback tax. A lot of organizations that benefited from this got down with it, and there's still some issues on getting it out. So he wants to have there's a meeting that's coming up September 29th. Put that on your calendar, especially if you're an organization that benefited from the turnback tax, and we'll be talking about it when we speak to him on the Senator Cipher coming up this Monday. So 3 days from now, we'll be talking to Senator Terrell McKinney and Senator Ashley Spivey. Put some respect on their names. Don't let me forget to ask Brother McKinney about this situation, this meeting coming up in a big way too. So,
Word.
yep. Appreciate everybody's comments. Buddy, let's go ahead and jump into a couple other things you wanted to wrap up before we got out of here. With the last 10 minutes that we got.
Yeah, we kind of alluded to it, but we can jump into the actual details of this Justice Department. Leaning on Nebraska and several other states. A few have resisted. Speaking of how Mayor Ewing will respond to pressures from the federal government, how will the state again will they kind of show more of the same as we've seen? Again, the state calling on the federal government, Trump administration, to bring the cornhusker clink, not the other way around. And now again, the state, specifically Secretary of State Bob Evnen, received a letter from the U.S. Department of Justice calling on Nebraska's chief election officer to share the state's unredacted voter registration information. And of course, the initial question is why? What are they looking for? What do they need with this information? Specifically, looking for names, addresses, date of births, driver's license numbers, and the last four digits of social security numbers. They want it all. Again, several other states have sued back. Actually, Maine, I believe, being one of those states. Dozens of other states are known to have received similar requests. Again, an attorney who oversees the Justice Department, Hermeet Dillon, who's with the Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division, the agency cited the National Voter Registration Act and the Help America Vote Act in these requests, asserting that the information is necessary to ensure states maintain accurate voter registration rolls. Kind of the same rhetoric that we've seen after Trump lost, to Biden, and which led to Fox News being sued because they pushed this whole lie that there were fraud and things in voter rolls and registrations, which isn't the case. But we gotta see kind of the writing on the wall and get ahead of the thing. There's an election coming up next year. There's whispers of Trump, and Trump himself has even said this is going to be the last election. So again, what are they going to do with this information? Where is this going? Here we are.
Very interesting. Um, yeah, we'll see. The question is now these states. Nebraska got a letter, so the states that got letters, who's pushing back, who's accepting it. I don't have a whole lot of faith that our governor is not going to go right along with it. So uh, the ramifications that are huge. I mean, they're trying to say officially like, well, we don't know what you're going to do with that information. They know what they're going to do with that information.
Man.
They know what they want that information for. They got to officially say that for an official pushback if they're going to push back. But is our state going to push back? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. According to a report from Nebraska Examiner, at least one state so far has given the federal government everything, and another appears likely to follow suit. South Carolina, being the state that has cleared the way for election officials to share its data. And I would like to throw in that South Carolina is also one of the states that sent National Guard troops to DC to help Trump. So there are states who are following along. And again, I've kind of mentioned before, are we seeing, civil rights or a civil war kind of be birthed? Like these are the type of rhetoric that created, the South. This is these are the beginning blocks of the South creating itself. Again, all these Republican states following suit, and we call Nebraska the Mississippi of the Midwest, but we've been talking about what's going on in Mississippi.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I'm gonna jump into the chat real quick
Mm-hmm.
before we get back to it. Majimila Jenkins is saying I'll send an email. Over a dozen counties have signed the 280G agreement, including McCook. So we're learning more about this. I appreciate you giving us that information. Said Lincoln's mayor has come out directly opposed to it. So I'm very interested in Ewing. She says I'd be interested in the FOIA report about what Evan and Pillin are discussing about this.
Mm.
Especially this was sent out before Kirk. So, yeah, please stay on this story. We definitely want to hear more on this as well. I'll dive in a little bit on that 280G agreement and see what that's about, and we'll definitely keep our eye out on whether or not Ewing signed it. So, if you get any information back from your letter, please let us know. If you do, if you will. Black Dynamite says, how full of yourself do you have to be that you feel like you can break the rules and run for president a third time? Well, think we see there's no limits on
Man,
what he thinks of himself at all in a big way. Also, Tony Johnson said, anybody attend Nebraska's Black Caucus meeting yesterday? Was any of this issue discussed? Any of the issues discussed? Good question. Let us know if anybody went to the Black Caucus meeting. I know Mike Lee was pushing that a lot. We talked about it the last few shows. If anybody went, please let us know. We appreciate that very much. Anthony Rogers Wright says, I will say this, Rep Mike Flood just stood up for Ilan Omar when a
mm.
crazy Karen named Nancy Mace tried to censure her. Interesting. That was surprising and good to see. Okay. All right, Mike Flood. We'll see. We'll see. Keep our eye on it all for sure. So yeah, there you go. Appreciate that information. I'm really nervous about. Uh, I'm not nervous. I'm definitely seeing where we're at when that was an inevitable next move to be like, well, give us all the list of the. He probably was sitting up there like, give us all the list of all the Democrats in that state, and we're
Man,
just attack them all because well, we got all their information. We'll attack them and try to what I'm saying like
I think the biggest concern, and this is a point that you made, is not Trump. It's not the Trump administration. It's the states going along with this foolishness.
bro.
It's everybody else going along with it. And you talking about Black Dynamite saying, how full of yourself do you have to be to go for a third term? But what about the people who saying that they will vote for him? Like who are welcoming the idea of Trump being a dictator? I've heard people say this multiple times. I'm okay with it. People are okay with it.
And in light of things happening like this Jimmy Kimmel stuff, um, these people that are getting pulled off the air because of people not wanting to shake not rattle anything with Trump. When you think about what's going on, the first thing they're going to do is really try to shut down communication
Oh yeah.
via the artist first, of course. Anybody who's got anything critical to say. So yeah, and the same energy that you have to be able to say you want to run a third time, or to the same energy you got to have as the people that want him to be a dictator and want to vote him in for a third time, are all about saying, oh, if they say something we don't like, we can just take them off, we can just get rid of them, and with them partnering with all these other organizations that have all our information. We've talked about some of that before as well. They probably already have it all. It's probably all performative, but they probably already have it all, and there's too much targeting going on already when it comes to the way that they're going after people. So again, leaving off of here, I got to go back to this idea I had in the beginning, which is what's the idea for the underground communication that has to come next? So that is something that we are considering all the time. We're going to be making some changes to the show as well, so that we can have a little bit more of a freer conversation, and we can figure out how we can make those changes and shifts if it comes down to it, because the flow of information is going to be extremely important in the times to come. And if it wasn't that important, then they wouldn't work this hard to shut it down. So
Yeah.
that's what it is. Majimila Jenkins is saying, I feel like local persecution is coming like a freight train. We need to remember that enforcers are your neighbors, bank tellers, grocery clerks, clergy members. Nazis were neighbors too.
Yeah, yeah. Again, Nebraska has the most active hate groups according to the FBI, which it's a whole nother conversation as far as the FBI goes right now.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, and local persecution has already come.
Sure.
Point in case, the nonprofit that already lost their funding from the DED, like it's already here. It's already happening.
It's beyond funding. They're throwing their people are calling for ICE to come pick up people from work and put a bunch of women in jail. It's
It's here.
it's there. Pop says historically dictators take over all communications and the arts. It's part of the takeover.
Oh yeah, it's the first. It's the first. Once you get a vice grip on the communication, then the real propaganda and programming starts.
There you go. Man, hate to end it on such a hard note. I hope that you guys get a little love supreme in this evening or this weekend. Definitely go check out some art, decompress, live alive with one another, have some food, just simply go out to dinner with your loved ones. You can continue the conversation, but also give yourself a break from the conversation. I've been trying to really be that weekend warrior myself a little bit and saying, at least on Sunday, I'm gonna, play some records and hang out with grandma and just chill out and get off this. Because that's what it is. Christy Norris says fascism is here. It's not coming. It is here. So it's with it in your face and with it being a part of everything that is going on in your life and your livelihood, it's hard to take a break from it. But if we don't take a mental break sometime, then it'll be hard to come back and attack. It's just like going to sleep. You can't stay up all day every day and think that you're gonna be strong enough to fight anything in 3 days. You got to take a break and go to sleep, catch up on some sleep, and get back up for the fight. So that's
Hmm.
what we're gonna continue to do that. So I really appreciate it.
Man,
Archie's reminding us sign up for the free community cancer screening. Please put
there you
that in
go.
Friends of First Sky Omaha, man, up at the top, so we can make sure that we get that information to people to come through on that in a big way. 9 o'clock. If you believe in the concept of time, we're gonna go ahead and shut the show down, buddy. You got some words for the people? You want to finish it out?
Yeah, yeah. On your Love Supreme point, I'm thinking of comedians, man. Watch your favorite comedian over the weekend. Check out some stand-up comedy. I think that's a great way to decompress while also staying aware and staying on top of what's going on. To kind of laugh
Yeah,
at some of the absurdity, really, of a lot of the things that we talk about and witness and have to deal with. So that's kind of where my mind is, just reminding of artistic resistance and love supreme warriorship, and why it's so important, and why it kind of allows us to decompress, to laugh, to cry, to feel our feelings and to go through it and kind of release it, while at the same time being reminded of what the mission is and what the things are. It's not just a mindless distraction, you know what I mean?
big time.
So yeah, man, so shout out to all the love supreme warriors out there. If you have a favorite comedian, check them out over the weekend. Support.
Man, check out Godfrey, check out Dave Chappelle, check out
Man,
people that are actually really speaking on this stuff and doing it in a way that is palatable and that you're able to understand and laugh at a little bit, cry at a little bit, all that stuff, man. This is what when you want to know why Dave Chappelle is the greatest of all time. It's because
man.
you add in this commentary, bro. That's what it's about. We add in this commentary. Definitely check out Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
He gave a speech last night in solidarity with Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel, and talked about this very thing that we're talking about. This attack on the freedom of being able to do that. What happens first when they want to try to shut you down? What authoritarianism does. Authoritarianism is the reason why things are getting shut down. Not you getting canceled online or anything like that, or people not liking you or anything like that. Authoritarianism will shut down the arts.
Man.
So get down.
Just like Dave Chappelle says, man, you got the First Amendment and the Second Amendment, just in case the First Amendment don't work. And you see
Crazy.
they coming for the voice, and next they might be coming for the gun. So hey,
Yeah, not, and it ain't coming for it. They've been coming for it. We in the
word,
fight,
word,
so
word.
we'll continue.
There you go.
Appreciate it. Mama God says have an excellent weekend. I appreciate that. Kara Warner says great show. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you. Also, Pop says, thanks for a great week of shows. You two are courageous and we adore you. Appreciate that, Pops. Says, have a great weekend and see you on Monday. Yes, yes, Monday. Don't forget, we will be speaking with the senators. Let's see what they have to say on this. It's political power right here. Senator Ashley Spivey, Senator Terrell McKinney. Put some respect on their name. Shout out. They will be in for Senator Cypher on Monday, and we'll continue to talk about them as well. Before we get out of here, just want to make sure that you remember that our second installation of Lanes and Change is out now. Definitely go over to YouTube, check it out. Leave some comments, give us your thoughts, and
Yeah,
also share it. Share it with some people that you think might want to see what's going on here, and give us your thoughts about what it is that he's saying in the interview, and a reflection on the 100 days of our new African American mayor from North Omaha in Omaha, Nebraska. It's a huge deal. But he gonna have to get you another hat representing this black mayor.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
Towns with black mayors. Keep your eye on them. Keep them in your prayers.
man. That part.
There you go. Appreciate that very much. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate the Omaha tribe elders allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. I appreciate you, our elders, allowing us to speak before you, and I appreciate you, the Chad Chimers, who go in and have some really great things to talk about and allow us to speak with you on these subjects and bring all of your good information in, and also very respectful of the guests as well. Shout out to brother Deon Barnes for coming through today.
Hey.
news gang in a big way. We're learning more and more about our lane and the lane that we occupy and share with other individuals and content creators and people who are in media like him. And so especially people that like him that's been in the game for a long time, we'll definitely have them back, him and his partner as well. And we'll keep having these discussions about how it is that we can utilize these tools in order to have some strategic communication. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Man, appreciate you guys again. Really, really appreciate you guys bearing with us all week long and diving into these discussions. I personally feel like I have a little bit more better grasp on what's actually going down and what I actually want to do with it because of our discussions. So thank you again, and we will see you on Monday. Take care of yourselves this weekend. Peace. Out.
Peace.
By the way, Van Glorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad, with the key.
By any means necessary.
Hey, Linda said when you started to fade out, she was like, "Buddy, no." I was cracking up.